Welcome to my channel, Rainbow Love. Should I give another chance for my gay lover? Worthy of another chance? Warning, long story ahead. Fellow gay bros. I've been a lurker for a while now, so I am coming out. Here's me. A little info about me. I am 21 years/O, love socializing, have amazing friends, will be graduating from college pretty soon with 4 degrees. I'm going to be studying in Paris for a while, and adore Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 4 stripes white belt. Back during my transitioning from preteen to being a teenager did my sexual identity began to shape. I was in 8th grade and at a new school with new faces, so one can understand how lonely I felt and really was. During my PE class, there was one individual male student, to whom we will refer to as Damien, to whom I had an immediate liking, but was mostly physical. He was, and still is, a very toned, cut, tall, dark and jobsome individual who, I think, has the sexiest masculine voice ever. Long story short, he and I became friends. He took me to golf with him, introduced me to his family, and took me to amazing adventures with his family as well. We became very good friends, and I realized that I began to crush on him. He and I were inseparable. Our friendship grew so strong that he became the first friend and person in general in my life at the time that I came out to, as confused, but admitting my liking of men. My crush became so strong, I told him I liked him. Well, things turned out well. He accepted me and did not mind that I fancied him. But with life in general, all good and bad things have an end, and our friendship took a nosedive right before we started HS. His parents divorced and we both began to attend different HS. For the first 3 years of HS, my life became heck because I lost the only person I bonded with. He began to reject me, not pick up the phone, everything. I was so depressed, suicidal thoughts became second nature to me. But I pulled through, thanks to the new friends I made in HS and therapy. Even after graduation, he was always on my mind. Once in college, we bumped into each other. I was surprised to see him as he was to me. We started to talk again and slowly but surely, rekindled our lost friendship and became best friends again. But he changed, obviously. He became a very sadistic, depressed, and manipulative assa. Sadly for me, I still liked him. To make matters worse, he confessed to me about his own sexual confusion. So we started to mess around. It wasn't anything too physical, all of it was over clothing. But he did get to see my junk on more than one occasion. We would talk about it and he confessed that he, at times, feels for me more than a best friend, to which made me nervous and happy at the same time. At this point, even though I knew how mean he was, I persisted with him, hoping that being there for him would change him for the better. Man, was I wrong. Things became worse. I became depressed again, I was suicidal, and became very antisocial. This kept on going for almost 7 months. He stayed in my house for a month because he had issues with his father. That was the worst month of my life. He kept hinting that we can become something more than friends, but deked around with other girls. I know it was my own fault for allowing him to get under my skin, but because I felt for him so dearly, I kept with him. After the month he stayed with me, I couldn't take it anymore. So after he randomly left my house, without even saying goodbye, I decided to never pursue him again. I know I painted him as a very unattractive individual, and for the right reasons, but he is the way that he is because he was neglected during the very emotional breakup his parents had. Many people, including his own sister, abandoned him when he needed help the most. He is capable of being the sweetest man on earth, so sweet that he'd give his life for someone he loves. Trust me on that. He has huge difficulties expressing the pain he feels and I know he needs professional help. Now back to the story. Boy, things went great after that on the very first day. My depression lessened dramatically and I began to see life in a positive way. Fast forward 1.5 years later, after almost literal no contact, he contacted me. He began to ask me if we can be friends again. I have moved on, but that doesn't mean I don't care about him. I can say that for once, I stood up to him and told him no. He began to tell me how much he missed me, how I was his shining light, how his GF treats him like shit, and so on. To some degree, I felt flattered because no one tells me that I am their shining light. I remember last time he became like this, he was having suicidal thoughts. So when I began to realize he was having a similar episode again, I began to worry about his safety. So I met up with him, after 1.5 years of almost no contact. We talked, expressed how we truly feel for each other. He sees me as his best friend, his brother, someone he can fully be expressive with, which is true because no one else really let him to be as close as I did, and as someone he'd rather be with for the rest of his life than with the people he has now. I was flattered, truly. But I told him he needs to grow up, then he needs to change his mentality on life and on himself most importantly. Damien and I are very similar. I went through the same phase he is going through. I realized I didn't want to be around him because what we had was toxic. He now realizes that the way he is and how he pretty much dug his own grave is not right and wants out. He has matured, and I am glad he has. I won't lie, I still feel for him, I really do. He has the capability to overcome this because he has demonstrated before that he can. He needs professional help and he knows it. He wants a true friend, a friend like me. I told him that I have moved on. That even so, I still cared for him. So I gave him an ultimatum, change for the better, and then we can work on our friendship. If not, don't see it on me again. He took it to heart. So now fellow gay bros, after all of this detail and drama, did I do the right thing? I am cautious of him and know that he can go back to his old ways. But even then, I warned him severely that if he does that, I'm gone for good. Would you give someone like this another chance? Thanks. Thank you for watching. Comment, what do you think about this situation? Don't forget to like and subscribe.